listening to the crosswalk lady. But this is the exhibition we came to see. So the Heinz History Museum is associated with the Smithsonian, and they get a lot of their traveling exhibits. Came a few years ago and saw an exhibit about World War II and Rosie the Riveter, and so today there's one about the moon landing.
So let's get inside because it's freezing. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, but this is what we came to see, which I love the theming. You're going across the bridge into the rocket ship.
Alright, so there's moon footprints, moon space things. The rocket's 363 feet. It traveled 953,054 miles. Still following the moon prints. There's Robbie walking on the moon prints. So this is what we came to see. So we're heading into the exhibition right now. Out here in this area, there's like some stuff about previous attempts for flying. And there's actually that film that we were talking about earlier, The Journey to the Moon. So yes, and then it actually happened here.
So here is a model of the rocket. And here's the trajectory path. So for launch, yo-yo effect, around the moon and back.
Did it go around 2 minutes?
No, honey, this is the comeback trip. Landing, coming back.
I just want to make sure that you explained that.
Yes, Earth has one moon. So this is the actual hatch from Apollo 11. Look at all those trinkets. And of course, here's the outside. But I just can't get over that. That's really elaborate. So I forgot to show you the side of the door. It's really thick. Hard to believe that's what stands between you and being sucked outside into space.
Right.
But here are the astronauts. So there's Neil. My favorite is Buzz, but Michael is there too. Poor Michael. He doesn't really get the, he doesn't get the credit. Like Buzz and Neil. But really, that is such a cool patch. I don't know how the bird's breathing out there, but he did it. So when you really think about it, that is just amazing. Yeah, we're just somewhere out there.
Kind of looks like a blueberry.
Are we gonna go home and watch Rocket Man now? So that was our old camera that we used to use. How cool. This is such a neat exhibit. Like, look at this. That's an actual used helmet and gloves. So this is the command module from Apollo 11. We saw the door a little bit ago. That would go right in there. This thing is huge. There's a view from what would be inside.
We were at Lake Washington when it landed at 4:18 Sunday afternoon, and we listened to it on the radio as the lunar module landed. And then that night we went to Aunt Pinky and Uncle Joe's to watch the moonwalk at 11-something Sunday night.
Which was recorded on
Those guys.
a camera like this.
Yes.
So the one that they actually used is still on the moon, but it looked like this one.
And it was made by Westinghouse here in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
So David, what did you say about that? It was who paid to have that?
Jeff Bezos, the guy that made all these billions from Amazon, he's very interested in space, and he's also got Blue Origin, which is kind of like Elon Musk's SpaceX. It's launching private rockets and stuff, or will be soon. But he paid for an expedition to go, kind of like when they rediscovered the Titanic, and to get some of the first stage Saturn V stuff off the bottom of the Atlantic, and this is part of the first stage engine that they recovered.
That's that guy over there.
On the bottom of the Atlantic till we brought it up.
Do you know what year they brought it up roughly?
That was 2013 is what was on the sign.
I was going to say, there's a thing about it over on that side.
There we go. I like the lunchbox too.
This is for samples.
I mean,
So like at Sam's, when they give you free samples, they come out of this box, right?
Right. I just can't get over how big that capsule is.
Right?
Or actually how small it is, thinking that 3 men sat in there.
They like lived in there for a while. Yeah, and they had to wear these gloves to operate the camera.
Can't even operate my phone with gloves.
When I was working on the space station at NASA, I got to go to a thing at Langley in Virginia, and they were, one of the projects, one of the continuing problems is having dexterity inside a pressured suit is difficult, because in the vacuum of space, and your suit's got pressure, you just all want to. Yeah, it's like Marshmallow Man or something. And so you've got to have joints and different things that allow you to kind of work like a regular human. And the gloves are especially difficult because of the need to be able to feel what you're doing, yet still protect you from the vacuum of space.
So, Mr. Aldrin, you've just landed on the moon. What are you going to do next?
I'm going to Disney World.
So I think that's really cool. That is still on the moon today. So fun fact, the American flag is not standing because when Apollo 17 launched, it blew it down. But they have simulators for looking around the inside of that, which is really cool.
Tour. That black knob there, that little black piece of plastic there.
Yeah.
Behind them in the lunar module, there was some circuit breakers, and Aldrin's backpack hit into it and broke one of the circuit breakers. Flipped it, and it happened to be the one for the engine that takes them off the moon back to the command module.
Oh no.
And so they were a little worried about this and how they were going to flip it back, and they were working on a workaround, but it wasn't needed because Aldrin took his pin and stuck it in the hole and flipped it back up where it was supposed to be. So that's his pin, and he kept the broken piece of the circuit breaker that came off. So
that's pretty cool.
yeah, I thought that was a nice story. 3-ring binders with actual, the whole plan.
So is that the original flight plan then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I still can't get over the size of that. The 3 men sat in there.
Yeah. Bert Anninger got to tell us on the tour this morning was you see these round holes
Yeah.
that are all around.
They look like scales.
Yeah, well, what they did was after that honeycomb design you see, they had to take a caulking gun and fill each hole of those hexagons or whatever shape they are in that honeycomb. They had to fill it with this putty stuff, and then they x-rayed it, and some of them didn't get it's like air blocked it from filling the cell completely, and so they had to like drill it out and redo it, and so those are places where the X-ray.
So where you can see the circle around the honeycomb.
Yeah, more so on the bottom. I think those circles up there are bulkhead sort of bolts.
What he was talking about, I'm zooming in on him right there.
Yeah.
If you ever wondered how thick a heat shield is, here are all the different layers. Pretty thick, and then there's the rescue. Looks a little more charred there than it does in real life. So you can see this backside of it is a lot more beat up and damaged because when they re-entered, they went at a slant, so basically the friction would be happening, the atmospheric friction would be happening to the back instead of where the windows were. Pardon?
So what you see there doesn't include the silver covering that it had over top of it, which was actually strips, not duct tape, but a silver tape that made the module itself pretty shiny, but it got scorched away on the way back in, and NASA apparently thought it looked shoddy, and so they pulled all the remnants of the tape off, and so that's what you see today. But the Smithsonian would have preferred to have kept it in the
original
actual condition that it came back in. So the silver protective tape that was put on in strips was all removed by NASA, or a subcontractor, I should say.
Yeah.
Expensive. They want to melt it down and reuse it.
What you doing, Hal?
I'm looking at the interior. I wish you would have been here a second ago because I was looking at the graffiti left by the crew inside of the capsule. So they marked what they were using some storage lockers for.
The urine?
Used urine bags.
Yep.
And then also where the smelly waste goes.
Yep.
And then
yeah, your dad was looking at that.
Location stuff. So because they were trying to pinpoint their location on the moon.
Yep.
Because while Aldrin and Armstrong were out walking, it was the other guys.
Michael, yeah. But no one, which no one really.
Well, because he didn't go out on the surface of the moon.
Yeah.
So he stayed in the capsule and worked on calculations. The crazy thing about it is that they only had 210 cubic feet to live in the entire mission.
That's insane.
That was it for 3 people.
But yeah, so your dad was telling me that they had actually, this is like, they scanned the inside and this is 3D projecting.
And this, did you film the door?
Yes, I did.
It's actually here. And
yeah.
It weighs 225 pounds, so it's pretty hefty.
Yep. You can see where it went over there too. Alright, so the light is messing with us a little bit, but that is an actual moon rock. Or a moonstone, so.
That one was retrieved on Apollo 15, and Halley's great uncle Bill was friends with David Scott in the Air Force, who was the commander on Apollo 15. So Apollo 15's always been important to me because my uncle knew a close friend who was the commander who walked on the moon in Apollo 15. Apollo 15 also was the first one to have the lunar rover. Only 15, 16, and 17 had the lunar rover. Apollo 12 was interesting because it landed near Surveyor, an earlier unmanned lander that NASA had sent up, and so they walked over from the lunar module
check it out,
Surveyor, and cut off some parts of it to take back to study how the parts had survived over a few years.
See how they deteriorated pretty much?
Yeah.
So this was the survival kit. They had a hatchet to fight the aliens there. But look at those goggles. Here's rover. Solar powered. I mean, this exhibit is great. And I'm glad we're here with your dad because he knows a lot about it.
Yeah.
Anybody need a Star Wars blaster? The thing that intrigues me the most out of this case has got to be this jerky. Final Frontier, and it still looks edible. But here is the timeline. That looks like the Enclave robot. Tom Hanks. And then there's Apollo 17. So here are our future astronauts.
Wow. Flunkies.
There's some switches I can fix.
Oh, it makes no sense. I'm too short to be an astronaut.
Is it like Mission Space at Disney, Hal?
Oh, that's actually...
There's more room in here than Mission Space.
You need to hit the white switch though. Hit the white button.
Alright, we're in the command module. Robbie's doing work on buttons.
We'll put this on a B.
So yes, we're actually laying down. Like the ceiling is that way. And
So I guess...
this is what... It's actually like nice on your back. It's like a nice little stretch.
So
There's like a place up here for our feet. So it's like we're seated, but just like tilted backwards.
But I'm Neil Armstrong. I've got Buzz Aldrin over here. And Michael Collins.
I'm driving
Right
this
there's
thing.
some of the stuff that in Apollo 13 you hear them talking about main bus undervolt and overload, you know, all the electrical stuff that started going on would have been coming from up there.
It's all from this panel.
And then what started the problem in Apollo 13 was the cryo tanks. See this here about the cryogenic tanks? He did a
Flush.
yeah, stirring the cryogenic tanks that caused the explosions.
Houston, we have a problem. All right, now trying to
Can we make a stop at Target?
Well, you're driving, so. Getting out of there, obviously it's a little difficult to get out. I said, I hope I didn't moon those people. And what was your reply?
It is a moon exhibit.
Not that moon. Your dad's in space.
Yeah, more often than you know.
Dad's in space. Oh, you got your shuffle bucket right there, though. You gotta
Yeah,
put it in your janitor bucket.
go jump out there and help him.
Oh, you just damaged the space rock.
Did I assume you looked at the graffiti part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems to me that is defacing government property.
David is doing his part to clean up space. Let me help you out here.
I don't think I need that one.
Okay.
But believe it or not, it's too short for me.
Yeah. Oh, and here's that was on the moon. And you knocked that one over again, so.
I would not be okay in space. It's too short. I'm too short.
Behind the scenes.
Okay.
Okay. Here's your grabbing apparatus. The claw. So Hallie,
I'm too short to be in space.
here you go.
That was the moral of today.
So Hallie's doing her part to clean up space trash. Hey Hal.
I did it.
Good job, you collected samples.
Ready.
Ooh, 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 ah. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, ooh. Ooh, fiery death.
He showed a picture of that painted truck.
Oh, nice. What'd you do? You landed?
Wrong pitch.
Splat.
Well, I got it. I think I got one more rocket, so we'll see. Yep. That's easy.
This portion is actually pretty cool here at the end. That's where we were in the module, and then we got to be astronauts, and now we're trying to land the control module.
All right.
Ben, come on, it's my turn. Ben, he was there first, so.
Okay, so we just finished going through the Smithsonian exhibit about Apollo 11, and we figured we'd give you our thoughts quickly. So I'll let birthday boy go first.
Well, this has been a special exhibit that was only going to 4 towns, Houston, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh, and the last town is the next one it goes to is Seattle. And it was a very well put together exhibit of focusing on Apollo 11, and I enjoyed it very much as I relived those days that I went through, and meant a lot to me.
I learned that I can't fly a spaceship to save my life or my crew.
And I learned that I am too short for space.
But definitely come check it out before it leaves. It leaves here in February, so definitely want to come take a look before it's gone.